What's bracking, y'all? I appreciate you coming back through the channel. Today, we're going to talk about the Quest 3 and my thoughts on the current VR landscape. So don't forget to hydrate and let's chop it up. All right, so MetaConnect 2023 just happened and we finally got the release of the Quest 3. It's finally here. We have concrete evidence. I'm sure you've seen a plethora of videos of first impressions and people giving you hands-on demos from their embargoed events that they went before MetaConnect. But I'm just going to run through the spec sheet real quick, catch you up to speed if you don't know what the Quest 3 is rocking, and then we'll kind of go from there. First up, resolution. I am glad to announce that we have two 2064 by 2208 per eye LCD panels. We are rocking a 90 Hz refresh rate with a 120 Hz experimental refresh rate, and we got those pancake optics. Now, rumor on the street is these optics are even an updated version from the Quest Pro, which I know a lot of people have very rave reviews about the Quest Pro lenses, and now we have even better ones in the Quest 3. We are also rocking an FOV of 110 degrees horizontal and 96 degrees vertical. Now, you're gonna get conflicting results so far with this. This is kind of split on the internet. On paper, the horizontal FOV is bigger than the index, which is honestly crazy. But I'm getting from most of the reviews that I've seen that it doesn't appear to be bigger than the index, but it is bigger than the Quest 2. And I was able to try one of these headsets on as a demo unit from Best Buy, and I can confirm that the FOV is bigger than the Quest 2 for sure. Now, I've had a Quest 2 and I have had an index. Can I say it's as big as the index? You know, not necessarily just yet. I do wear glasses, so that is one thing that kind of disrupts the FOV situation. But even with my glasses on and it just being a demo unit, I could tell there's a significant difference between the Quest 2 and the Quest 3 to make me think, yo, the FOV is actually better. Now, is it index big? We'll need some testing when people start getting these headsets in hands, but you can never go wrong with more FOV. And it looks like we bitched about it enough to Meta. They put the IPD adjustment wheel in the Quest 3 because those three settings were garbaggio. That was a bad mistake. So I'm glad they gave us the IPD adjustment wheel. It has ranges of 53 millimeters to 75 millimeters. Now, the belle of the ball, let's talk about the processor, that Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2. The performance on this is crazy. With all the comparison videos between the Quest 2 and the Quest 3, you can see a significant boost in performance between real-time shadows, might I add, the extra texture streaming. In all of these comparison videos, you see extra foliage, you see extra textures, you obviously see the amazing shadows. Red Matter 2 is gonna be insane once you're actually in the headset playing the game, and I, for one, cannot wait to get inside and play some of my favorite games. And speaking of some of my favorite games, they all just get boosted because of the XR2 Gen 2. So, you think you played a game before? Go back and play it again because now it looks even better than before. Now, this is Meta, so we couldn't have a perfect headset. So we're only rocking 8 gigs of RAM and not the 12 that we hoped for in all of the leaks. But we can handle 8. It's more than the Quest 2, so not really a big deal. But 12 would have been great, but here we are. Storage-wise, we only get a 128 and a 512, which is kind of wacky in my opinion. We are still rocking USB-C for charging and the Quest Link, and we also have some charging dots at the bottom for the Quest dock that charges the headset and the controllers. I don't know if I'm gonna pick this one up, but it's available and the charging dots are on the bottom. Now, let's talk battery life. This one is a little 1.5 to 3 hours depending on what you're using the headset for. If you're using the mixed reality, you're looking at about an hour and a half, which not great, let's be honest. But they do have an Elite strap if you want to go for that. Personally, I'm just going to wait for Bobo VR to release their M3 for the Quest 3, but luckily for you Quest 2 users that are in the Bobo ecosystem, Bobo VR is making a conversion kit, a retrofit kit, if you will, that will turn your M2 into an M3 for the Quest 3. So you don't have to buy a whole new one, and you get to keep your hot swappable batteries that you already have. So huge news from Bobo VR. Congrats to them. Big ups to them. We love Bobo VR here on this channel. Not sponsored in any way, but maybe if they want to, you know what I'm saying, I'm here. And you might have noticed the Quest 3's fashion statement, the 3 pills in the front, which handle your pass-through and your tracking and the depth sensor to have all of this MR goodness. Now, how much is the price, you ask? Well, $500 for the 128 gig storage and $650 for the 512 gigabyte storage. Now, which one's right for you? Who's to know? I have mine pre-ordered. I got the 128. I don't mind uninstalling and reinstalling apps. I don't mind only having a couple of games or apps on my headset. I only had the 128 of the Quest 2, and it did great for me. But I'm also mainly a PC VR user, so you kind of got to make your own judgment call there. If you don't want to just uninstall, reinstall, and manage your space, get the 512. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Before you boy, we're going with a 128. So my PC has been down since I started writing this video, and it's given me some time to think about the Quest 3. And I think the Quest 3 has a lot of huge implications for the industry than I personally previously thought. I do think the community is split on the mixed reality as a whole. Some like it, some don't, some just think it's a gimmick. But I think we can all agree that it's a cool, neat feature, and it has a lot of potential for the future. So we just need these devs to make something that's worth getting the headset for the mixed reality that it's being marketed as. I think learning the piano is a great use of mixed reality, and I can almost guarantee you that that will be a day one purchase for me on my headset, because I've always wanted to learn piano. And just the concept of the Quest 3 having the great standalone performance, you have mixed reality capabilities, and you also have a great PC VR headset. So I really don't see any downsides to the Quest 3. Now, is it going to blow up like the Quest 2 did and just sell a metric ton of units? No. I think the Quest 2 was lightning in a bottle, and I think it was a bit inflated as well. So I think the Quest 3 is probably the healthiest headset to release in terms of a mass-marketed VR device. I also think we'll get a significant boost in sales when the Apple Vision Pro releases and people see, wow, mixed reality is pretty dope, or I like the things I can do in mixed reality, and then they go look at the price tag, and it's an Apple price tag. So the Quest 3 does damn near everything the Apple Vision Pro does, just maybe not quote-unquote as good, but you're also paying a fraction of the price. And what other option, as of now, I guess the Pico 5 is on its way, but as of right now, what other option is there other than the Quest 3? All I'm saying is I'm buying the headset. You can make that decision for yourself, but the Quest 3, I mean, it's already got. It's pre-ordered. I'm picking that thing up day one as soon as the store opens. Hey, Future Elders here. Did want to say that I will be getting the Zenny branded Meta prescription inserts. So I'll have a review on those compared to just me wearing my glasses or maybe even my contacts in the future. So yeah, back to the video. With that being said, now let's talk about the state of the VR industry. Personally, I think this is one of the most exciting times in VR that we've had. You know, bearing all of the VR's dead tropes every few months when things start to get a little dry. I think we are in one of the most active times in the VR industry. I mean, just look at all of these headsets that have come out. The Big Screen Beyond, the Meta Quest 3, Apple Vision Pro in the future, the Immersed Visor, Vario Aero, the DP VR for people that want that, PC VR 2, Pimax Crystal, the 12K QLED, allegedly. Who knows if that is actually working, but that's a that's a video for another day. And we even have rumored headsets like the Deckard and Google and Qualcomm's headset coming out. I mean, what a time to be alive in the VR industry. As someone who has been into cell phone technology for years, I feel like we're in that golden age of cell phone innovation. Think the Motorola Razrs or the LG Chocolates, or my personal favorite, the Sidekick. Back then, you had companies like Kyocera, LG, Motorola, Nokia, BlackBerry, Pantech, Samsung, and more jumping into this new technological wave that was the cell phone. Everyone had a different style, a shape, a niche. Everyone wanted to get into mobile technology. And right now, everyone's trying to jump into VR. And I think you can argue that back then, cell phones lacked software as well. And even in the early days of smartphones, they all had their own operating systems, much like we have absolutely no unified engine or base. And the content and software kind of took a back seat while the companies figured out what their phones were gonna look like. And I just keep thinking back to those times and think, is that what we are doing right now? Is this the beginning of that spatial computing land run with these companies trying to stake their territory for the future? And I can only imagine it'll end the same way with two OSs. You have either Android or you have the iOS, and it'll be Android OS and Vision OS. And, you know, headsets will get down to the most efficient and minimal form factor. Like now we have slate phones and everything is a slate phone. But I think now we should be excited to see innovation and to see cool designs. I think now is the time that is the funnest in this new emerging technological advancement. And I know most of us would say that in terms of all of VR, we lack games and content, which not wrong. Cannot argue with that fact at all. And I've been without a headset for a couple of months now, and I haven't really missed it. There hasn't been anything that's like, hey, get back in VR. And I keep asking myself, like, how is that fixed? How do we fix that? Especially when we have games like Echo VR and Dead and Buried being stripped away from us for no reason and seemingly nothing that we can do about it. And what I came up with is us, the VR community, to dare to make things, to fail so we can all learn. And I think we can all agree when small, passionate studios make something, they make something special. Truthfully, I have to give a lot of kudos to Thrillseeker for his journey into the development side. His willingness to just dive right in and make something, I think, is the one thing that we need. And I think we all know what we want out of VR. And I think it's up to us to make that happen. I know what I want out of VR, and I'm going to make it. I have already started putting the pieces together in Unreal, obviously, but that's a topic for another day. I want to put out a challenge to the creators and anyone that's just trying to make something dope. Make what you want to see in VR. And if you don't know how, just learn, ask, collaborate with somebody. And if you don't want to make it, then share your idea. Somebody out there will run with that idea and make what you want in VR for you. I believe in community, so let's show these AAA studios that we can make games and experiences that are just as good, if not better. And with that, us as content creators, we have to come together. We can all eat. A rising tide lifts all ships, so let's be good to one another. Let's not throw shade in the community. Let's help bring one another up and bring up the ones around us. But that's all I have for this video. I appreciate you coming through and watching. If you've watched it this far, I mean, just click like, you know what I'm saying? But yes, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. And as always, make sure you tell your friends you love them, and I'll catch you on the next one. Sir.